Our next speaker from the Department of Psychology, Tristen Inagaki. Love notes and hand warmers. Does your brain know the difference?
Have you ever wondered why you bond with another person? What makes you feel so close to your mom, your dad? Siblings or best friend? And why do some couples stay married, happily married, for 50 years or more? In social neuroscience, we look to the brain to understand how we take in and process something psychological, like bonding. We social neuroscientists are a lot like psychologists. We both study thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. But what sets us apart is that we also monitor the reaction of the brain. Now, before I began this PhD journey, I was a ballerina, and my world revolved around expressing emotions through movement. And a knee injury late in my junior year of college made me really rethink my future. And one day, while sitting in a social psychology class, I came to the realization that this discipline really complemented the way I saw the world. And so that week, I marched out, careful of my knee, and changed my major from dance to psychology. It was here in this very class that I first learned about and fell in love with the field of social neuroscience. Now, when it comes to bonding, I've learned that one of the reasons it feels so great is that it shares some of the same pathways in the brain as those that control our relatively warm internal body temperature. So in other words, social warmth, or feeling deeply connected to those we love, and our physical warmth often overlap and use some of the same biological hardware. To learn this, we first recruited 20 volunteers from the UCLA community to participate in a brain imaging experiment. We wanted to know how warmth might contribute to feeling bonded. So for instance, when you're first born and you feel the warmth of your mother's body, and this feeling gets intermixed with those of emotional love. So to test this theory, we needed to create social connection and physical warmth, all within the same experiment. And so, with our participants' permission, we contacted their spouses, parents, best friends, and siblings via email. For each volunteer, we contacted 6 separate loved ones, and we asked these friends and family to write 6 brief, loving sentences. And the reason they had to be brief was that they had to fit onto the lenses of the goggles that they would be wearing as we monitored their brain activity in the scanner. Now, we didn't really have a clue as to how these messages or sentences would turn out. We hoped they would be really good, but it was really anyone's guess. And it wasn't until the responses finally started coming in that I knew this was going to be a really exciting experiment. So one volunteer's grandmother completely failed to follow directions and sent me a dissertation-length letter all about how wonderful and special her granddaughter is. Another volunteer's father basically sent me 20 different sentences, 20 different ways, but all basically saying the same thing: how proud he was of his daughter and how much he loved her. Overall, we were surprised by this outpouring of love and how people could share such beautiful thoughts and feelings in just 6 short sentences. Here are a few examples of the messages that we received and that our participants read while they were lying in the MRI. Thank you for loving me at my worst. You're my number one. Thank you for helping me be the best I can be. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and I completely don't deserve you. You're a gift. You are the bacon bits in our salad bowl of life. When they were done reading these sentences, they remained in the scanner so that we could then move on to complete the second half of the experiment. We had our volunteers hold one of those single-use hand warmer packs, the kind you use at frigid football games and while you're out skiing. And this hand warmer was how we increased the physical warmth in our participants. So what did we discover from this study? Well, after holding this hand warmer, our volunteers said that they felt more connected to their loved ones. Just this simple act of holding a warm, squishy bag, and we saw increases in feelings of social connectedness. The volunteers also said that they felt physically warmer after reading the sentences. So physical warmth was leading to more social warmth, and social warmth was leading to more physical warmth. Our scans also revealed that some of the same regions in the brain used to process physical warmth are also those that process social warmth. So we showed for the first time that those warm feelings that come from being connected to someone you love may actually feel physically warm, and that this is likely because the same brain regions are used to process both sensations. So we learned that bonding feels pleasantly warm, but we wanted to dig deeper. So we recruited another set of 30 participants to complete the same two-part experiment with just slightly different parameters. First, instead of having them lie in a scanner, we had them sit in front of a computer in a lab. And second, before they read their loving messages, we had them take a pill that blocks the natural opioid receptors in the brain. So when we blocked our volunteers' opioids, essentially blocking this pleasure center in the brain, our volunteers said that they felt significantly less connected and less warm after reading the loving sentences, and less connected after holding the hand warmer. But what we didn't anticipate was that our volunteers still said that it was really pleasurable to read the loving messages, even after their opioids were blocked. The primary difference was that after taking this pill, they felt less connected to the friends and family who wrote them the messages. Or in other words, we found that opioids were important for feeling bonded and close to those you love, but not necessarily to how pleasurable it is to hear that you're loved. Together, the results about physical warmth, as well as the results about opioids, both really excited and surprised us. They told us why bonding feels so great at this neurochemical level, but also at a psychological level, about why we feel so close to others. They also help us better understand a common experience that we all share. So why do we bond with others? Because for the same reasons that we need food and water, we need to bond with others. It's part of our survival. In fact, social connection is so much of a basic need that it's weaved into our neurochemistry and into our brains. It's weaved into the very fabric that makes us us. But what do these results mean beyond this dissertation? For me, it's about getting back to those micro-social connection moments, those cherished moments that our busy lives so often cover up. And the only way to really do this is to take the time and stop and share your gratitude. It's not only incredibly valuable for the other person, it's also vitally important for your well-being too. And so the next time you want to let someone know how much you love them, just remember it doesn't take that long. All it takes is a pen, some paper, and just a few simple, heartfelt words.